So I love these kind of projects here. You're literally taking something out of the scrap heap and turning it into something different. Something better. This is a hub bearing from my 2001 Chevy Silverado. It's lived its life to 100,000 miles on it, and we're going to turn it into something different now. Bit of a struggle to get the race off. This is a bearing race. It's a high chromoly steel. It's a high carbon steel. Very, very hard. Bearings and bearing races are both great material for making a knife from. Trying to loosen up some of the gunk inside there and the back side of the bearing right now so I can bend it. Takes a little work. Takes a little work. That's not how you use a drywall hammer, by the way, but that's fine. Little bearings. You're going to see them again. We might use those for a different project, but here we have the bearing race. Yep, little bearings. They're going to be in a different project. All right, still hot? Still hot. Everything's hot. Just expect everything to be hot in this kind of a process. So right now, I am straightening out the piece of metal. Pretty clear. Little slow-mo to see kind of what actually goes on at a normal speed. Now, this is normal speed, not slow-mo, but this is what you go through as a blacksmith. It's a lot of work. You're pounding out some metal. This is normal life. But it's YouTube, so, you know, you want to see everything at fast speed. I get it. So as I hammer it flat, it gets a little bit curved. So we're taking some of the curves out. Again, normal speed, just to kind of show a bit of the process. As always, there's a lot of grinding. A lot of grinding. And I think that the belt that I'm using right now is a little worn down. No, it looks fine. A lot of grinding. So we're going to get the final, I have the final shape of the knife that I want, but I'm just cutting the tip basically to square it off or angle it off for the shape that I want for this blade. We're getting there. It's becoming a thing. Who's my editor? We've seen enough of this. Let's move on. Nope, guess not. So we kind of skipped ahead here, and you're going to see the knife in the blade itself in a much more finished process, or a finished state. But we're going ahead and moving on to the hilt here. So we're going to take some brass that we collected and turn it into a thing. It'll make more sense as time goes on. It's my 3D printer making a little piece that we set into the Petrobond clay, sand, whatever you want to call it. Shooters, always save your brass. You never know when you need to reload a knife. And plumbers, always save your brass, because same thing. So I'm going to cook this brass, but if you know what brass is, it's copper and zinc. And you're going to see that I do not have a face mask on because I'm not even breathing the air. I have a breeze behind me, and I'm holding my breath for a lot of this because I just don't trust even the gas mask, face mask that I have. So zinc, if you breathe in vaporized heated zinc, it can make you really, really sick. I'm just not interested in that. So I pour my little piece and saving some for later. I'm just cleaning up the piece right now. Very, very fast hands. Very fast hands. So you're going to see this blade is now more finished. We're going to go back to completing the blade. So you got to see some of the future. I don't know how much I loved everything that happened on this pattern. I guess we're not showing the pattern just yet. Sorry. Skipping ahead. Future. We're just drilling the hole for the tang to go through. And I think there's too much of this. We need a better editor. Yep, too much of this. Who's in charge of editing? Oh, there we go. We're getting somewhere. This pattern I think is okay. I think it's neat. I don't think I pulled it off correctly or perfectly. Also, I think what I used for the filler, the color was not perfect, but I made a thing. Used scrap pieces again to make a thing. So you'll see it soon. Yep, hand tools. Yep. They're awesome until man invented electricity. Humans invented electricity. And yeah, there we are. There we go. We didn't invent it. I mean, we're just using it. You know what I mean. So I'm filling this in. I wish this was darker. I should have added some charcoal to this epoxy, something to make it a little darker. It's a good dark gray, but I wanted like a black to really, really contrast with that brass, that gold color of that brass. But you live and you learn. That's 1000 grit, just polishing. That's Rob, my old roommate. That's my soda pop can. Definitely soda pop. And we are back to the knife blade itself. So again, we're back to the past. So we're finishing out grinding this thing down to get an edge on it and to get the bevel that I want and all of those component pieces. This is embarrassing. Oh, okay. So my circ saw can give me degrees. I'm looking for 7.5 degrees, I think, on the bevel, and 15 or 20 degrees on the blade itself. So I have to use this to get my little jig set up. I don't have a protractor in this house. My mother has a master's degree in education. She went through all of the semesters, all of the classes of calculus. She went through like theoretical algebra. My dad, my father, came out of Berkeley with a degree in architecture. He built the house I grew up in. It's just embarrassing. I don't have a protractor in this house. Can't find a protractor. So this jig is great. Link in the description below as I get those links set up. This is great for getting the angles you want, with or without a protractor. Hurts me. So we're getting the bevel. This is kind of hand done here for the tip. And cooling it in water so I don't overheat the tip or do any unnecessary damage to it. A lot of this. You're going to see this in several of my videos. A lot of this. You want to be a blacksmith, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Here we go. Now you get to know what the real process is. Nope, but I'm very fast. Protractor. Oh, we're back to the knife. And my editor. How did I not catch that? Anyways. Little cell phone view is not good. We are back to cutting out the tang that's going to go into the handle. Cleaning it up a bit. So we're going to quench this. This is bearing race metal. I believe the quench temperature is about 1525 degrees, give or take. It might look hotter than that because it's dark outside, so the camera's lighting is different. But I have my little heat gun, and I'm going back and forth, not side to side. I don't know what it looks like in the camera there. But we are quenched. We're checking for straightness. And we are happy right there. And then we set it next to the fire. It's 2 cycles at 1 hour a piece at 400 degrees. We're getting this a little harder than I would normally make a knife. But I love the straw color. I love the straw colors. I love the temper colors. Kind of want to leave them in a lot of the things that I do. But we're going to polish. And the camera, to me, does not like my stovetop. Very fast hands. A lot of this. Want to be a blacksmith, huh? So I went 800 grit, 2000 grit. I did not capture 3000 grit. I did go to 3000 grit. The same style, not just this. That's just kind of for show that I'm doing it. Link in the description below for these little buffing wheels on your 4.5-inch grinder. This makes these little jobs so much easier. You will see a big buffing wheel in the end, but this is just quick and dirty, and it works. Making the handle. I mean, just a protractor. Every elementary school kid has one in their binder. It's just embarrassing. I'm just... protractor. Just something to get the angle. Yeah, we're drilling. We're drilling. Hey, look, still picture. Little woodworking here, making the handle look like a handle. Still angry at myself. We have a thing, and a thing. We're going to put all of them together and make a bigger thing. And gooey hands. Looks like a knife. So, I did not heat and treat the handle itself. I was very, very careful to get the blade so I can still drill through the tang of the handle. The tang is not quenched. I always do this. I need to put a piece of wood beneath that so it doesn't kick it out the bottom. Woodworkers, you probably know what I'm talking about. There's a big buffing wheel. Trying to pretty her up a little. Making a sheath for this. But I can tell you right now, I did this at different times. The handle and the sheath don't match. The handle has this high heat kind of tiger striping that changes when you look at it in the light, depending on how you change or how you angle it. The sheath does not. I should go back and do the sheath again, but I'm not going to. It's a Dremel tool and a router. Lot of routering. Put little pieces of leather in there to hold the knife blade in place when it's in its sheath. I think right now all it's doing is just staining the blade, you know, months or whatever later. Might have been a bad decision. They just trap the knife so that you can turn it upside down and the knife doesn't fall out. Woodworkers, do you have enough clamps? The answer is no. You never have enough clamps. Let's clean up the sheath a little bit here. As always, guys, lots of links in the description below for blacksmithing stuff, some of the most basic stuff. It's whatever you need to just start this kind of stuff. And hold on. I know what you're thinking. Don't think it. Randy, you know who you are. Don't say it. You sick people. But blacksmithing is easy. It's fun. There's a lot of tools out there, a lot of information out there for it. To do this kind of a thing, you can turn a piece of junk in your scrap metal pile and do something good. So again, the tiger striping on the handle right now, from the way that I sanded it hot, and it worked out great when I put the oil and poly on it, and it looks great. And the sheath does not look quite the same, but you know, whatever. As you guys know, I love y'all. Be good to each other. And please go out there and create something. Let's see how sharp it is. I think it's a knife. Good night, y'all.